Welcome back to my channel, everybody. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium, and today we're going to be talking politics. I know it's been a minute, but sometimes you just need a break from this toxic energy that is our political world right now. Today we're going to be talking about the debate. Yes, there is a presidential debate coming up this week, I think. And yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're like, who, me? I'm right. Like, I'm watching you to tell me what's right. But now I know you're confused. Don't worry. It's okay. But you are right. Biden is going to mop the floor with Trump. Now, some of you are going to be like, of course he is, Susan. What parallel crazy universe are you living in that you think something else could happen? Well, guess what? That parallel crazy universe is the one we're living in now, because here is what my spirit guides are telling me is going to happen. Yes, Biden is going to mop the floor with Trump. Why would Trump even do it? Why would he show up knowing that he can't really string together a sentence, much less 90 minutes worth of sentences? Well, some of this is hubris, right? The guides are saying some of this is just him believing that he believes his own PR, he believes his own bad press, he believes his own crazy thoughts. But also, here's where we get into trouble. So, when I was talking to my spirit guides about this, I kept getting this sort of sense of there isn't a winner. And I was like, y'all are going to have to do better than that. Like I tell you guys, I need to upgrade my package. Like, is there a deluxe package where I could get clearer information, or maybe even just like every day, like a download that's like, here's what's up, boo, we got you. No, no. They send animals and thoughts and feelings, and it's like a booyah boss of really just, I mean, really and truly, alphabet soup would be easier to understand. But anyway, so here's the thing. They kept saying, well, there's not really any real clear winner. And again, this is where I want to break up with them. But anyway, I told you guys we were in couples therapy last week, right? So anyway, I'm like, let's talk. Let me take a different tact here. Let's just like, okay, let's have some coffee together. Let's talk about why you think there's no clear winner, because that makes no effing sense, right? Like, that makes no sense. You tell me Biden is going to win, then you say there's no clear winner. Let me explain to you, because I finally figured it out, hence doing the video. And it is scary. It is, frankly, it is a little bit scary, but here we are. I've told you guys we hit rock bottom, and now we're rolling around in the mud at the bottom of the rock bottom, and we're sort of like trying to figure out, where did this mud come from? Why are we here? How do we get out of it? So that's kind of what's happening. So here's why there's no clear winner. So between you and me, friends, it's clear. Biden literally, like, it's like a prize match, like they're showing me a boxing match when the referee, for the sake and life of the boxer who's getting the what kicked out of them, calls the fight because of safety, right? Like, maybe because of pity. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to call this fight because this person is getting their butt kicked, right? However, here's why there's no clear winner. And here's why it's scary, honestly, because 45 is going to, I'm trying not to say his name very much because, Google, we're getting into the season and they're going to be looking for reasons to get rid of us. And that's a really good reason right there. So 45, he's going to be on the screen basically doing his thing, right? He's going to hit Biden as low and as hard as he can. He's going to talk about Hunter. He's going to talk about Russia, 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 China, China, China. He's going to talk about things that actually do make people mad, such as how high the prices are. He's already been talking about delays at the airport. And it is true. If you are on social media, you're seeing lots and lots more post about people who are taking 2 and 3 days. Did I say days? Yeah, I said days to get home from a flight that would be, say, 4 hours. It's a mess. It is a mess. And is it Biden's mess? Is it Buttigieg's mess? I don't think so. It is the fact that Trump deregulated, allowed these corporations to put profit over people and over regulations and over everything else. And now we are experiencing the outcome of those decisions. So, and that's what I'm going to talk about in a minute too, about how the Democrats and Biden will have to basically rule as a unified one party system, when in reality, this Constitution was never meant for that. But sticking with the debate, so he's going to provide fodder for the Fox News. And here's where it gets scary. Okay, this is the part truly that is meant to really wake us up. And because we are having a problem not waking up, the wake up could be like some real slaps, some real like reality slaps. Here's the problem: you're going to see CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS, whatever, give equal time to 45's delusional rantings as they do Biden's grounded, professional, smart comments. And you're going to say, wait, what is happening here? Because you're going to think, finally, I mean, any sane person internationally would say, now we're going to get an opportunity for everybody to see just how wackadoodle this guy is, just how off the mark he is. It's all going to come to light, right? We're all going to see it. We're all going to know that this man is unfit. I mean, forget the 34 convictions, but anyway, unfit mentally for this office. But what you're going to see instead is you're going to see news stations basically covering for him by cherry picking some things and putting it out there. And I think really that's going to be scarier than anything. And I think it's really going to be scary for those of your friends, your family who aren't 45 supporters, but don't watch psychics and really think that we're going to have truly a 45 is going to be a 47 and we're going to have a Gestapo country. And I think those people are really going to lose it. I just, there's this crisis of confidence, is what the guides are saying. It's like, again, a switch goes off. And I know this is astrological because the energy suggests that it's not like a wave that sort of happens, right? It's literally a switch, a snap. People go from here to here. There is no, let's get used to the water. We're going to jump in all the way into this water. We're going to experience it all at once. We're going to change our mind all at once. We're going to lose our confidence all at once. And that's what we're going to see here, is this real, I don't know why they're calling it a litmus test. Maybe it's a litmus test for our sanity as a country. Can we really, really create an equivalency between someone who's really and truly not all there, number one, but number two, also is really and truly a dictator? Can we create some kind of common ground between that and a democratically elected president? That's black and white. There is no equivalency here. There is no whataboutism. There's no nothing here. It's pretty clear. Yet, what you're going to see is the media going into contortions to make it seem like it's just a regular old debate. And you just have to decide whether you want apples or oranges. Not white sheets and crosses burning or a democracy. Because that's really the difference here. But yet the media will not allow that clear choice to be shown. And without the media, we don't know jack nothing. That is our bullhorn. That is our filter. If you think about it, you pour the information through the filter of the media and it comes out, and then we get to decide. Typically, we don't even decide. We just consume it and we assume that it's correct. So I think this is a real litmus test for truth in journalism and for humans, for Americans, for United States citizens to say, wow, okay, CNN, you're out. And it's what's interesting. The spirit guides are showing me how they keep laying people off. The media keeps laying people off, thinking that's going to solve the problem. The problem is you. The problem is your programming. And this is why people are going to online news sources like Midas Touch, or there's probably 20 of them by now that are really good media sources. A lot of them are staffed by attorneys and or by real journalists, some of them Pulitzer winning journalists who've been laid off and now have started their own online news source. And the guides are just showing me Biden just announced a few days ago that he was going to give press credentials to these online news people who might literally be like me broadcasting out of a spare bedroom. Biden is saying, yeah, you're a professional news source. I'm giving you credentials. Come to the debate. Because Biden gets it. The news media is owned by very few companies who are owned by even fewer companies who are all about getting that tax break, who saved probably billions of dollars in taxes under 45 and would like to continue that. And Biden has made no bones about it. He's going to reverse that. He's going to come after those people and make them pay taxes. He said it publicly. Billionaires should pay more taxes than a teacher or a nurse or, a firefighter or anybody for that matter. They should be at the top of the tax food chain, bearing the burden. And they would still have billions left over. They wouldn't even feel it, even at like a 40% tax, 50% tax. When you have $50 billion, what's the difference between 25 billion and 50 billion? Seriously, what is the difference? You're not even going to feel that. Our economy cannot even accommodate $50 billion. You are now into money that makes no sense for our scale, for our economic scale. There's only so many private islands and jets and trips to space and trips to see the Titanic that a person wants to do before you're tired of it. You've run out of things to spend your money on and you still have $20 billion left. It's broken. It's broken. So anyway, what I would just tell you guys is that please understand that after this debate, you're going to hear people say Biden is presidential. Biden is brilliant, smart, compassionate, all these things. He's a leader. But you're also going to hear people say Trump had some really good points about airfare, airlines, delays. He had good points about the price of food. He had good points about the price of gasoline. He had good points about the border. You're going to see this equivalency. It's not true. It's a false equivalency, but you're going to see it. And you need to be prepared for it because it's going to really wackadoodle your head. It's really going to it's going to freak you out potentially and your friends even more because the media is really what's making this race closer than it ever should be. The media is the filter. They're taking 45's 5 sentences out of an hour that could potentially make some sense, repackaging it, and then putting it in front of millions of viewers at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 10 p.m. They are selling us this crap. And you're going to see it unequivocally. I mean, I just can't tell you, everyone is going to see it. Who cares to see it? The Democrats in office are going to see it. we're going to see it. We're going to see the real game. We're going to be like, oh, snap. This is worse than I ever thought it could be. This is, you're going to be gobsmacked by the outcome of this debate. So, there, again, Biden's going to wipe the floor with Trump, but at the same time, Trump's going to come out looking like it was a tie. So, you've been warned, okay? It's not a tie, and this is the media. And how we can really affect this to a degree is continue to support other types of media. So, the Justice Matters, the Glenn Kirshner, the um, cleanup on aisle 45, there's just so many podcasts and so many, Midas Touch. There's so many real journalists that are out there doing the work, being neutral, really truly telling you the neutral information so you can make up your mind. We need to just continue supporting them, continue watching them, continue sending them $5, because as the spirit guides told you, these institutions are going to dissolve. The institution of journalism, of media, being a for-profit or profit over facts, is going to dissolve. And it's not going to be pretty. None of this is pretty. None of this is easy. Seeing how jacked up your world is not pretty. It actually causes us to go through a long night of a dark night of the soul, where we're like, wow, how did I participate in this society? Wow, will it ever get better? You can really start to be at the bottom yourself, thinking, wow, what do I do now? It almost feels overwhelming, like this can't be fixed. Well, let's talk about how it's going to be fixed. So, what's going to happen is that we're going to win in November. Now, again, you guys, we can win by 1 or 2 seats, or we can win by 4 or 6 seats. That depends on you. It really does. We've got to get busy. Truly get busy. Any way you can do it. You can donate, you can text bank, which means you can get your cell phone and you can send text to people. You can send text to people. You can write postcards if you have good handwriting. You can work the polls. You can be a poll watcher. You can support your local candidates. We have to get busy. We really do. It's up to us whether this thing goes from 1 or 2 points, 1 or 2 votes over to dealing with the filibuster and actually getting some stuff done. So now how we're going to fix it is this, and this is also a challenge. None of this is easy. It just isn't. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could just tell you, oh, it's going to be fine. Stay home and just, have a good summer. It's not. It's not. It's not going to be easy, because even though you know so much because you watch psychics, and for the most part we've all been pretty correct, your friends are going to be freaking out. Your neighbors, your family, they're going to be freaking out. Nothing you tell them is going to calm them down. They're just going to be freaking out. So, on top of everything else, you got that going on, right? Now, here's the thing, the spirit guides have talked about this before. I'm going to talk about it again, which is our country is based on checks and balances. And that's a good thing, because of the checks and balances, when he tried, 45 tried to pull off his coup, it didn't work. Mainly because of states like Georgia that had a Republican in charge who said, no, I'm not going to do this. The Republican vice president who said, no, I'm not going to do this. The officers that not only fought at the Capitol, but also the officers in that small town that said, no, we're not letting you in. We already have. We already have the delegates. The delegates are inside. We don't know who you guys are. Go away. Those officers. So because we have checks and balances, we have a much better opportunity to survive this, to get through this. And something they were saying this morning, which I think is funny because you could say it to your Republican friends and really just blow their minds, which is, they're always saying that we don't have a democracy, we have a republic. That's the code word for basically I'm an idiot. Really, but it is it is true. We have a republic. Our republic, the republic is that the states have, their own power. That's the republic. We operate as a democracy. And you want to know what you can tell them that will blow their minds? The republic saved the democracy. For a minute there, they're going to think you're a MAGA. But it's true. Those states like Georgia that said, no, I'm not going to find you those extra votes. Don't care if I'm a Republican. That was the republic saving the democracy. Now, this country is really founded on that we would have the Congress, we would have the judicial, and we would have the presidency, and we would have these pillars along with the republic, and frankly, supposedly along with the fourth estate, which is the media. So, in this way, the framers of the Constitution of the country, they didn't want to concentrate the power in one place because guess what? They just came from England where the power was concentrated in one place. So they spread it out. You get a little power, you get a little power, you get a little power. And hopefully, if one or two of y'all go batshit crazy, the other ones will not allow you to take over. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. Now, it really works best like that. But here's the problem. Here's the problem is that because the media is now a conglomerate, it's now owned by a few entities, and those entities are all in cahoots with each other. Well, they're not an independent source. They're not an independent lever anymore. And because the judicial, especially the Supreme Court, is now owned by the same few little entities that own the media, the media is owned, the judicial's owned, including some of the district courts, the federal courts. That same small, those entities, whatever they are, whatever you want to call them, the Federalist Society, there's a few. There's more than, there's more than one. They own some politicians, including countries. Countries also own the politicians, the media, and the judicial. Look at Epoch Times. That's a whole thing going on there, isn't it? Their owner just got rung up for fraud. Big numbers. Okay, but yet that news source is on the counter of your local Walgreens or your grocery store. Billboards. Okay? So here's what I want to tell you guys. The levers are broken. Obviously. Yeah, we got through the last election by the skin of our teeth because some Republicans said, "No, I'm not going to do that." Here we are 4 years later, and we see that SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, seems to be bought and paid for. We see that some of the federal courts, possibly Cannon's court, seems to be bought and paid for. We're starting to see now that this is not a level playing field. We're going to see it again with the debate. This is what they were talking about. These two things are not the same. They're going to tell you they're the same. They're not. So how we fix it is the Democrats are going to get in office. The Republican Party is going to literally implode. It's going to be a sight to behold. It will be written about for many, many generations. I don't honestly take any glee in this because our country is designed to have these levers. We're not designed to have all the power in one party or one court system or one legislative branch or even the media. We're not designed for that. But yet, to fix this, that's what's going to have to happen. To fix this, the Democrats are going to have to take over as if they were acting like potentially a 45/47 presidency. Because nothing is working. SCOTUS is broke. The ledge is broke. The media is broke. Well, how do you fix all that? How do you legislate to fix the media if the legislature's broke? How do you fix the Supreme Court if the legislature is broke? Because that would be who would fix them, who would impeach them, who would investigate them. So we're left with potentially a Democratic Congress that has just enough votes to sort of halfway patch up the situation. Because to be able to really fix this situation, first of all, the Democrats would have to have a super majority. We would have to get rid of the filibuster. We would have to run roughshod over the Republicans. We would have to say, sit down, shut up, we're fixing this. You have totally jacked this up. We don't even care about you. No, there is no across the aisle. What aisle? You're traitors. Go sit down. Biden is going to have to say, I don't care. I'm going to expand the Supreme Court. I don't care. I'm going to executive order for the next 4 years. I'm going to executive order my whole presidency. Now, funny, Biden is not the record holder of executive orders. He really isn't. This is exactly the thing that Biden doesn't want to do. So you might see how the universe puts us in situations where there's a no-win situation, which the universe would say, oh, that's a learning opportunity. To us, it's a no-win situation. A no-win situation for Biden is that I can't go across the aisle. There's nobody that I can work with. Like I got to take full responsibility. I mean, that's not how the founders wrote the Constitution. This isn't what they had in mind. I don't want to be a MAGA. I don't want to be an authoritarian or a dictator. I don't want to do that. I refuse to do that. I'm going to find some Republican somewhere who's got some sense left, and we're going to legislate and we're going to make this country better. But I'm here to tell you what is setting up right now is not that. What is setting up right now is the Democrats are going to have to just push through and do it on their own and do it on the backs of the Republicans, literally just walk on them. Because if we continue to wait for them to wake up, for them to, I want to say stop accepting the bribes, but but really, the thing that I thought was going to happen by now is that Jack Smith was going to put the kibosh, was going to put the smackdown on these Republicans. The way I saw this kind of coming together in my night, I like things to be wrapped up with a bow on it, please. I don't like mess. This is messy. Again, I'm this or that. Let's just fix it. I don't want to have to clean up my house and then find a whole bunch of dirt. You know what I mean? It's like drives me crazy. So what I thought was happening was by now, Jack Smith would have already moved past 45 and gone into the Congress people and already be what is the word? Already be bringing them to court. Now, I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but I'm saying the timeline that I saw, we're a little bit late. we're like a couple of months late. Now, I think we have some hope in the sense that on July 11th, 45 is going to get his sentence. And I don't think he's going to get off lightly. I really don't. I would be surprised just because Judge Mershon, now the energy suggests that he's going to get off lightly, and the energy around Judge Mershon suggests that he's going to get off lightly. However, Judge Mershon is in his own kind of lesson, right? Just like Biden is. Biden is like, I can't go across the aisle. What do you mean? I got to do this on my own. This goes against everything I believe. Everything I believe. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Same thing with Judge Mershon. He's like, this is not the hill that I want to die on. I want to put this man, I want to give him a punishment that befits somebody who is their first time, that befits somebody of their age. And yeah, I'm gonna slide some extra, you know, weight on the fact that he's a white guy and he's a rich guy and he's ex-president. Yeah, all that. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a handicap. I'm gonna weight the scale towards him. However, by the time we get to this sentencing, I see 45 doing something so egregious, saying something or doing something so egregious towards this judge's family that this judge says, I will quit my job tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, you know how, they're showing me the Walmart, the person that quits the Walmart and they get the speaker and they're like, and another thing, and they tell the dirt. They just tell the dirt on the speaker or the flight attendant who pulls the emergency, slide when they land and gets the thing and says, F you guys, I'm out of here, and then pulls the slide, makes a dramatic exit, right? Now, I'm not saying Judge Mershon is going to be that dramatic because I don't think he has it in him, but I will say this. He's at that point where he doesn't care. He doesn't give a damn. He's at that point where he's like, don't care. Don't care. Censure me. Call me before a superior court. Try to overrule my sentencing. I don't care because somebody needs to do something to this man. That's where I see Judge Mershon. Like again, it's the same energy of you haven't been dealing with the problem. You've been cutting the problem a lot of slack. This is that bully energy. Again, in your own life, where's there a bully? Have you been making excuses for the bully? Have you been hiding from the bully? Have you been trying to walk on eggshells around the bully? That bully is going to get you sooner or later. Sooner or later. So you have Judge Mershon saying, I have to do something. Like this is it. Like I have my own respect. It's almost like Judge Mershon says, this is now my own respect for me and my family, and I cannot allow this to happen. And so he just crosses the line. And he gives this man a sentence that he otherwise wouldn't give. Now, that could be a harsher home arrest. Also, the guides just reminded me something I saw from an expert who said, and I didn't even know this was possible. This is the thing about what's happening is we're learning about our judicial system in ways we never thought we would have to learn, right? It turns out that you can give somebody a sentence where they just go on weekends. They just have to report to jail on weekends, or they have to report to jail for 1 month, or just serve a certain number of hours, and they decide when they come up with their schedule. Yeah, I want to serve my 4 weeks of jail concurrently, or no, I want to serve it a week per month. I mean, to me, again, you're giving in to the bully. And if you give in to the bully, you're not learning your lesson. And the universe is keeping score of you learning your lesson. And that bully is going to get more emboldened and come back and smack you harder. I'm not sure what Mershon is going to do because everybody has free will, and 45 hasn't done the thing yet. And he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it until, the first week of July, or maybe even a few days before the sentencing is when he's going to do it, which is going to be better because it's going to be the pain is going to be inflicted more closely to the sentencing date. And they just showed me Mershon getting a black eye, like getting punched in the eye or punched in the nose. Now, when your spirit guides show you pictures or give you guidance, you have to understand that it's more than just what it appears on the surface. Hit in the face, that's different. They could have showed me Judge Mershon getting kidney punched in the back, getting smacked in the back of the head. No, they showed me him getting punched in the face. That's a different energy than being shoved. So that is somebody facing you and punching you square in the nose, is what I just heard. So whatever this is, and I don't think it's physical, but I think energetically, it's right at Mershon and it's square in the nose. You may even hear somebody, a lot of times when they tell me these things, I actually see the exact words mentioned in the media. So, 45 gives Mershon a black eye when he blah blah blah, right? So this is the thing. It's all shaping up. We're at rock bottom. We've got these lessons coming. We've got to learn them. Biden has to decide, gosh dog it, there's nobody over there I can work with. Yet I don't want to be a dictator. Don't make me be a dictator. I don't want to executive order my way through this. I don't want to just disregard the other side. I want them to wake up. I want them to have a meaningful conversation with me about the future of our country. Yet they're out to lunch. They're out to lunch and they're not going to do what you want them to do. So you've got to just go it alone. Now, that's also potentially going to upset the Democrats on the left because Biden is going to have to make some hard decisions, which probably are not going to be very liberal because, well, clamping down on the media is not very liberal. Clamping down on the border is not very liberal. The spirit guides told you he's going to do something at the border that's really going to make the liberals mad. And he already has. And he's not done yet because the guides, the energy suggests that they're going to destroy us with our freedoms. These other countries who are just as involved as these moneyed entities. You have moneyed entities. The way the guides, and I believe this to be 100% true, the way the guides described it to me is you have American oligarchs. Maybe that's the Federalist Society. Maybe that's corporations. Those American oligarchs, they're the ones that have controlled the Republican Party. People like Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger. Yeah, I know he just put his weight behind Biden. Are you kidding me? That's like saying you're in Nazi Germany and you just now decided that maybe Hitler's not your guy, right? I mean, come on, I'm not going to give these people any extra credit. There's false equivalency here. It took you this long to support this man just because he's got a D by his name? You don't win any extra points from me, Buster. Okay? So these Republicans are all about the American oligarchy, meaning let's keep all this money to us, to ourselves. You know who just came to mind? McConnell. McConnell is against Russia because he said many times when, the neurons were firing and answering. But anyway, many times he said, why are y'all against Ukraine? Ukraine is making us money. All the money we give them, they have to spend with us, making weapons for them. Maybe I don't understand what socialism is, but basically, this is a controlled environment. This is not free market. But anyway, McConnell, that's American. oligarchy. Money stays right here in our pockets, right here in the good old United States of America. Now, the other side is for foreign oligarchies. These would be 45, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Gates, Jordan, all of them, all of the Jan 6ers, all of the Freedom Caucus. They're not for American oligarchs, they're for foreign oligarchs. They get their paychecks, they get their instructions from someone overseas. That's why they hate each other, right? But the scary thing is that in the end, you have somebody like Lindsey Graham going on the media, the national media, the trusted media, saying Biden is the real felon here. Biden is the felon because he's running roughshod over our rights. He's executive ordering things. He's not caring about Republicans. They're just taking advantage of us. Do you see how that loops back around to what I talked about in the very beginning of the video, where 45 is going to say Biden is the dictator here? He's the one, doing things on his own. He's the one forcing the airlines to do this through these regulations, right? So you can see how this is just one big cluster fluck, and how the lesson here is that Biden has to just walk a lonely path, not a path that he always wanted. He always wanted to be the bipartisan guy. He always wanted to lead a united America. We're not united. And unfortunately, a lot of us believe a narrative that is not democratic. And Biden has to step forward on that lonely path and lead all of us in the best way he knows how, knowing that it looks like he's not leading all of us, knowing that it looks like he is partisan, that he doesn't care about these Republicans. He doesn't care about 20 or 30% of United States citizens. He has to be the person to administer the hard medicine. He has to be the parent to give us tough love. In many ways, if you can allow your consciousness to expand, this has been his path with his son, Hunter. Biden wanted a family. He immediately lost his wife and his daughter. His kids were injured. He lost his son. He's down to one son. And that son has really struggled with addiction. And Biden has had to say, I love you, but I can't save you. It's the same energy that Biden has with his own citizens. I love you, but I can't save you. You are addicted to whatever this is, this cult energy. I love you, but I have to just lead where I think, where I believe my heart tells me to go, even though it feels lonely and it feels like something I don't want to do. I don't want to do this on my own. I don't want to be the arbiter of the direction of the United States of America. I want us all to be on this arc together. But that's not what the energy, that's not the lesson. That's not his lesson, that's not our lesson. We have to move forward. And if we have to leave these people behind, we have to leave them behind. But we have to trust that we're simply doing the best for all of us, even though we're going to be told we're being selfish, we're going to be told we're being partisan, we're going to be told that we're really the dictators, that we're forcing our narrative onto them. And this goes back to the wound, does it not? Goes all the way back to the wound of the United States of America, which is this country was founded by people that came and quested and took, conquered, disregarded the native peoples, then bought and sold humans, disregarded the soul of another human being. That is the wound. And here Biden is as president, and some of these Democrats have to just get over it and say, wow, we're once again conquering, we're once again saying, we don't care what you think. We have to do what we think is best. But now in 2024, is what we think is best better than it was in the inception of this country? Are we doing it right? Are we being inclusive enough? Should we omit these people who have a different viewpoint than us? Is there really an equivalency somewhere I'm missing? Can we not talk to the Lindsey Grahams, the Mitch McConnells? Can we not bring them? Can we not somehow sit down at this table together? We can't. We cannot. And it's going to be clearer more than ever after this debate that the fix is in, that these entities, these media companies, these politicians, 100% are going to be on the wrong side of democracy. And you guys, that is our marching orders. That is when the blindfold gets ripped off and we see what we have to do. We have to just find our North Star, be as inclusive as we can, given the tenets of our democracy. And that's the litmus test. Do you agree with the Constitution? Do you agree with the amendments? And not only that, but let's sit down at a table and decide where we are going, because the Constitution and the amendments are outdated, don't work for us. So now we have to create a new table with new cool kids. And we have to trust that those new cool kids are the right ones to lead us into the future. Because we are going to leave behind some people for sure. Not on accident. Because we have to, despite what Americans are being told or what they believe. Somebody has to step up and say, I know you believe this, but you are not being fed the right information, and I'm going to lead us out of this. Just trust me. Come with me. Trust me. The thing that Biden never wanted to do. Never. He was a uniter. And now, in many ways, he has to be a divider. And he has to stand by himself, alone, and lead us into this next phase of our growth, of our democracy. Thanks for watching. Take really good care of yourselves. If you watched to the end of this video and you're not subscribed, I would invite you to do so. It's going to be a little bit of a long trek between now and November. And we're going to see a lot of ups and downs. We're going to see some scary stuff. We're going to see some stuff that just point blank pisses us off. And we're going to see some stuff that we just can't even believe is happening. And we're going to see some really good stuff, but we're going to see a lot. So take really, really good care of yourselves, okay? Because we need to all get there. We can't let this man walk without us. We have to say, yes, I'm with you. I'm with democracy. Yes, I'm going to step into this breach. I'm going to step into the void, shoulder to shoulder. We're going to do this together. It's really, really important. Okay. So take good care of yourselves so that we can do this together, so that we can be on the other side and take a deep breath before we step into the next breach, which is dealing with the Republicans that are elected but still don't believe in democracy. We have to have strength. We have to have positivity, but we also have to have endurance. This is not a sprint, which means you need to take rest breaks. You need to take lots of breaks because this is going to go on for a while and you're not going to sprint through the whole thing and get to the other side to celebrate with us. So take your breaks. While you're taking a break, somebody else will step in. While they take a break, you step in. We're all going to get through this together. We're all going to be okay. But we have to take care of ourselves. Okay? We'll talk soon. For entertainment purposes only.